Hey everyone, and welcome to the Beyond Life and Fitness podcast. I'm Cheryl Patton.
And I'm Megan Prince.
We started this podcast as a way to connect with more people who are struggling to fit it all in. The workouts, the food, kids, work, and relationships.
We know that we're not perfect, but we hope that through our struggles and our mistakes and our failures and our successes that we can help more people through their challenges and be successful. So if you want some tips and tricks to help you along your journey to be the best version of yourself, then this is it.
All right, so we are back today, and I thought we would just sort of continue on from the topic that we did last week, which is why you should set goals for yourself, and those goals should be uncomfortable, so that you know that you are sort of pushing your boundaries and stepping into kind of a more true version of yourself when you kind of set those loftier goals for yourself. And so I thought today then we would just chat about goals that we have for ourselves going into 2023. Do you want to kick it off?
Ooh, I don't know. I think for me it's just finding a balance, which I don't even know if that's even possible with all the things that I'm doing. I think also for me just narrowing down what actually brings me passion and doing that and just using and not being scared of just making that move. Because I feel like when I set a goal for something, I just do it and I just shoot for the stars. I just don't let myself sort of... Oh man, the dog is eating everything off our counter. The puppy. Training the puppy would be a goal for this year. It would be an amazing goal. I just think finding a balance for me would be the biggest thing. And I feel like for me, physically this year is going to be like a goal of mine. And just, not that I don't feel like I've let myself go. I just really feel like I really need to focus in on how I want to feel and really focus on my self-care this year. Because I feel like it's sometimes when life gets so busy that, that's the first thing that goes for me. And it's sort of like, I don't really make time for that. I don't make time for things that make me feel good. So I think that would be my goal probably the most for this year. And to be... easier on myself.
So more self-care, a little bit more
slow down,
forgiving of, because again, like you've got a very busy household, right? You've got 3 girls, you're kind of doing everything mostly on your own.
Homeschooling, running a business.
Right, like if the kids, I think, were in school for those 8.5 hours a day, your day would look a lot different, but that's not your reality. So
so I think for me right now it's just trying to, where can I find that balance, and what things work and what don't work, right? Like getting up at 6 a.m. was working for a while, but then I'm so tired, so it's like that's not going to work for me either. So I think when we're talking about goals, it's all about like play around with things, try 100%. Different things,
trial and error,
see what works for you, see what doesn't work for you, right? Same with like, diets and foods and all that.
But you got to give yourself time with that trial and error. Like it can't be just 2 days and say that didn't work.
2 weeks, I'm not losing all the weight that I want. And then, it's consistent behavior and just keep showing up.
I would say try something for like at least 4 weeks. And then if you know that it's not working out, then change it for sure. But you got to give the change some time.
Yes. Yeah, and I think being more present in my life, too. I think that everybody feels that way, though, right? Like, just being really present in where I am.
Yeah.
But also, like, being so grateful because there's so many things that so many mornings I wake up and I'm like, I'm not doing enough. This isn't good. I didn't do this yesterday. I yelled at my kids. I just whatever happened right the day before. And I wake up every morning and almost like a reset. No, you have the ability to change your day and to change your life starting this second, no matter what is behind you. And I think that comes down to like my faith and stuff and going to church is that like, I have faith that I can change this. I can do, God's with me and I got this and I know there's going to be a better plan and a path. I just have to keep going forward and I have to keep pushing forward. And it's like the uncomfortableness that we talked about before is that you just have to know in those uncomfortable moments, in your silent moments, in your quiet chapters, that that's where you build yourself the most, right? Where you're building this beautiful thing, because you don't have any outside opinions, you don't have any societal views that you have to fight. You just are really internally looking at yourself and like, what do I want to achieve in my life, and how do I want it to feel? How do I want my life to feel? How do I want to feel on a daily basis? And I know we talked about me having anxiety before, but that I have this fine balance between relaxing and not having a whole set of goals. And then I have this other side where it's like I make one goal and then I have another one and I have another one. So it's like, for me, on the spectrum, I feel super calm and have no anxiety when I'm kind of over here. But then to me, I feel stuck. And then when I have all these goals over on the other side, I'm like, goals, goals, goals. Super high anxiety because I'm like trying to achieve all these things. So it's like, where can we, for me, where can I find that balance where I'm achieving things that I want? I'm still growing, but I'm not pushing past my body's ability to handle all of those things, right?
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you for goals?
Oh, well, good question. You know, still trying, like for me, it's, you know, continuously to grow my business, how I can make my business better. You know, for the members, how I can serve them more without overwhelming me. Right.
Yes.
With more work.
Yeah.
And so again, it's sort of finding that balance on how to become a better business person, a better coach. And then at the same time, you know, continuing with my training, because again, I would like to compete again, whether it
this
be
year.
Well, we'll have to see. So because I qualified for the national show, and the schedule is not out yet for 2023 for when the Natural Pro Qualifier show is, but my coach and I, we have a feeling it's the same weekend as my daughter's wedding.
Which would not be good.
Which means then I would not compete. So if I don't compete, then I'll just take the next 18 months or so, because I'll have to requalify in 2024, and I'll just work on my weak areas, which is fine. So then, do I make a goal of doing another photo shoot? I was, I don't want to say pressured, but kind of pressured by a friend that I had met at a show back in 2019. And she's like, you got to do a shoot. You got to do a shoot. You got to you got to do it. You got to do it.
Of course, yeah.
So I did one, and I had it all booked before I even did the show.
Yeah.
And it was like amazing. Like I left that shoot feeling probably the most empowered and almost just like free than I ever have. Like it was amazing. And so it was great. And you know, seeing my pictures, you know, and now my friend's pushing, she's like sending me stuff. She's like, send your pictures to this publication, send your pictures to this right? So now she's just she's again pushing me a little bit more out of my comfort zone, which is great. Which is awesome. And I appreciate her for that. So yeah, that was an amazing thing. So I would definitely probably do that next year if I'm not going to compete. Probably do another type of a photo shoot for sure. And I, you know, doing those types of things for yourself, it makes you grow as a person.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I come back from that whole experience, and I'm just like, a whole different level of self-confidence, whole different level of how I'm kind of, you know, presenting, how I'm kind of almost showing myself to the world, for lack of a better phrase, because I've always been a more introverted, quiet, shy, not a lot of self-confidence, not a lot of self-esteem, which some people would not believe, considering what, you know, I do for a living. I'm in front of people all the time, talking to people all the time, but yeah. So I'll, you know, keep working on those aspects of myself, regardless if there's a photo shoot involved or not. But right.
And I think even like there is such a thing to be said about doing just a photo shoot for yourself, even if your goal is not to be fit and to lose 20 pounds to do a photo shoot, but maybe you reached your financial goal and you're not in debt anymore. Go to a friggin' photo shoot. Get your makeup done, get your hair done, put on clothes that make you feel good, throw your money in the air or something and do like, because it's just so freeing to be able to see yourself like that and to like whatever your goal is, starting a business or I don't know, fixing a relationship, go with your spouse, get some clothes on, look nice, take some photos just so you have that like, because I think competing was so nice when you win, but then when you leave and you don't win, it's like, oh my God, I sucked. Whereas going to a photo shoot, it was like, it doesn't matter because you're not competing with anybody else, right? And our life shouldn't be competing with anybody else. We shouldn't be like, oh my gosh, that person got rid of all their debt and now I didn't. We shouldn't be competing because we're all on a different path of our life where we're not all the same people. We're not all going to achieve our goals at the same time.
No, and even if you have similar goals as somebody else, there's a million different ways that you can reach that same goal.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So that's the other thing. So what route you're taking may not work for the person beside you in order to reach the exact same thing.
And I always look at myself and I think, okay, I have 3 kids, I'm homeschooling them, I have 2 dogs, I'm a single mom, I'm running a business, and I'm like, I get up and get to the gym every single day, where as I look at the girls that are single and they have nothing else to worry about but their fitness and they can just get to the gym and they can do whatever they want. I'm like, I'm doing friggin' good because I still show up and I still do it. So everybody's circumstances are different. So you can't determine what somebody's outcome is going to be by their circumstances because one person has a ton on their plate and another person doesn't. Yeah. But sometimes the person that doesn't have a lot on their plate isn't really good at achieving those goals, where a person that has a lot on their plate sometimes, you know, like your circumstances are always gonna...
if you're gonna start something new, start something goal, like do it in the most inconvenient time possible.
Right.
Because if you can get it done when life is throwing you curveballs and it's not convenient, then you're going to be able to continue to get it done when life is smooth sailing.
Because I keep thinking when my kids get older and they move out or they're independent, I am going to rock this shit. Because I was like, I still have not given up on myself as much as like sometimes I'm hard on myself thinking, oh my gosh, I've given up on everything because you're not what you used to be when you were 20. But I also look back to how much extra time and how much whatever I had. Absolutely. So there's these chapters in your life where you just have to realize I'm doing good for my circumstances.
Absolutely.
Right? I'm doing good where I am right now for what I can do. Do what you can with what you have right now. Because you can't be like, oh, I'm going to get up and go to the gym and do my workout and then nap and do all this stuff like somebody that doesn't have kids can do. We can't do that. So we have to like figure out, how do I make this work for me right now? Like as soon as we got the new puppy, I was like, okay, my life has to change. It has to be different now. Like things have to change. How do we shift? But how do I still not let that interfere with things, right? We just have to shift. But I can't say that I'm positive like that every day. I'm just being positive right now. Some days I'm just like,
well, that's just like it, right? We all have good workouts. We all have bad workouts. We all have more positive days. Some days we have negative days. Like that's just life, right?
Yeah.
But I think when the positive days outweigh the negative days, and then when you have those negative days, you're able to spin your situation.
Spin it to like, how am I going to work through this? Let's just do this. I'm not willing to be stuck. Let's go.
Yeah.
How do we do this? How do we get out? And having that circle of friends that will be like, no, you got this. Or be like, yeah, just take the day off the gym. You should. Don't worry. You've had a hard day. Or be like, no, get your butt there. You'll be fine. You know, like it's like where you need those people that are going to push you.
Yeah.
And I heard, like, be friends with the people that are doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because those are the people that are going to push you. And it was like the podcast, it was like, if you're having a really hard time with addiction, don't hang around with people that have an addiction. If you're having a really hard time with
your finances, don't hang around with
people that don't have, right?
Or people that spend or that live beyond their means.
Because we then latch on to people that are struggling with the same thing that we are because we have something in common.
Exactly.
But then it doesn't help us get out of it because we just stay in it.
Right, because
So
it's comfortable.
It's comfortable. Let's not get out of the comfortable. Let's stay in our warm, fuzzy blanket and our hats on and our warm, fuzzy hats and mitts, and we'll just stay in there.
Yeah.
Let's take it off, get naked, and go cold plunging.
There's an analogy. I love it. All right, so basically goals 2023. We're going to just keep working on self-improvement.
Yeah.
Basically is what this is all going to boil down. Self-improvement in all ways, shapes, and forms.
And growth, right? Keep growing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. And we would love to hear what your goals are for 2023 as well. So feel free to email us, leave a comment on our social medias as well. Thanks everybody for listening today, and we truly appreciate you. And let us know what your biggest takeaway was today, and if you have any questions you want answered on the podcast. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast to automatically receive your episodes and to help us reach more listeners. We would love to connect with you on our socials, either Facebook or Instagram, with links in the show notes. Till next time, keep taking those small steps towards your best life.